do you like about LARP?
I know everything in your head will say, oh my god, I'm not sure and I don't know what will happen.
Lights, sound effects, I've got loads of them, which we're not going to use because basically God in a very tiny room.
It is once again time for the Dutch LARP Summer Festival. A weekend full of workshops, short LARPs and activities. And with this amount of LARPers in one place, what better moment to ask some questions and get some tips and experiences? How did you get started in LARP?
Like most people here have been LARPing for a long time, but about last year I kind of by chance stumbled across the festival. But it was a bit too exciting to go the whole weekend, so I just went for the Saturday and then immediately regretted not going for the whole weekend because I came here and everyone's super nice and like, whoa, this is the first hobby where basically everyone is really open-minded, socially accepting, very friendly. And then I had to leave at 12 and I was like, in the midst of a LARP. One of the short LARPs they were doing like a ritual, and then my boyfriend arrived with the car and I just had to run off in the midst of it. So that's basically how it started, and I've been obsessed ever since.
So what do you like about LARP?
Oh yeah, you're starting with the difficult questions now. What I like most about LARP is that it is a place where you can be whatever you want to be. It's escapism. For me personally, it's a form of escapism. I get to, from a world where I'm like, I work in IT, sometimes I sit looking at problems going, how do I solve this? Why do I need to solve this? Why are users terrible? And I can go to a world and I'm like, I'm a wizard now. I see a problem, fireball. Or my biggest problem is that my brother tried to propose to someone who didn't want to be proposed to, one who maybe proposed with complicated. But these are easier problems that aren't my problems. You know, you get to go around feeling heroic, you get to hit people with swords, you get to do cool things, and you get to hang out with friends. And at a LARP, sure, you're going to go to the bathroom and go like, oh, that is a modern porcelain toilet. But we ignore that, because at the end of the day, you walk out, it's like, ah yes, there's 100 people in stupid outfits out here yelling, bij de machten van Arcanus, ik werp versteen. And you're just like, yup, this is what's happening right now. Nobody cares. It's fine. And that's what I like most about it, honestly.
What is it that you do here?
I run blackboxes for LARP Summer Festival. And with blackboxes, we basically mean special effects in a small, dark little room. Consisting of lights, sounds, smoke, weird stuff, heat, and everything else to make scenes look more special or to enhance whatever emotions are already there.
So what is it that black box can be used for?
Wait 1 second, I will turn on the light a bit because we're really in the dark here. We mostly do here is to ensure that we follow the scenes. So we control lights, sound effects, I've got loads of them, which we're not going to use because probably not going to be very nice and audible here. Yeah, we control the scene, we can do anything, we can add anything. We're basically God in a very tiny room.
Wat vind je zo leuk aan LARP?
Ja, wat ik zo leuk aan LARP vind is eigenlijk dat je eigenlijk elke keer wordt uitgedaagd om iets te doen wat je nog nooit eerder hebt gedaan. En dat is echt heel erg breed. Dat is eigenlijk van hoe speel je, wat voor karakters ga je eens doen. Ga je iets doen wat je nog nooit hebt gedaan of juist iets wat je veilig vindt. Nou ja, ik heb altijd zoiets van, ik ga net als dat ik naar een restaurant ga, ik kies altijd het gekste ding uit wat op een menukaart staat. Nou, dat probeer ik ook bij de LARP een beetje te doen. En eigenlijk hoe gekker, hoe beter. En ja, en aan de andere kant, het ontwikkelt zich en het is nooit af.
What tips would you give beginning LARPers?
Well, when you're already there and in character, the biggest tip I can give you is when someone asks you something, just say yes. I know everything in your head will say, oh my god, I'm not sure and I don't know what will happen and maybe just say yes. Just say yes and just see what happens and roll with it.
Costume-wise, where do you get your inspiration from?
All over the place. I really like what computer games are a good source of inspiration because they do tend to have lots of layers and very recognizable costumes. So it's what I like about computer game design is that you can look at something from way far away and go, yep, that's that character. It's very recognizable. Silhouettes, also color choices. Just if left to my own devices, I tend to make everything black. That's not exactly how you are gonna stand out. Computer games are good, movies are good, but whatever kind of fits your theme, and just sketch it out. Very often computer game design, costume design does not actually work in real life. Like anything where you have a giant big sword on your back, that doesn't actually work. Unless you have it like hanging on a baldric and just sling it over your shoulder again. Otherwise, because you're going to go long places, there's a reason scabbards are carried on the hip.
So how did you get started in LARP?
Well, my very first LARP, I was a part of a student organization in Delft. And they were going to a LARP Arcana. And that was in the 90s. I don't look that old, right? No, I don't. And it was nice, but it didn't stick until some friends took me to Weerwolven, which was also in Delft. And then it got started, and then in the 2000s I started with Fantasy LARP again and just never stopped.
And in general, what is it that you like so much about LARP?
Honestly, I can answer that with two things. As a player, I love the fact that you can be someone else and reenact or act out a complete arc of emotions throughout an event, starting from somewhere high and ending up somewhere low, or vice versa. It's all good. But more foremost, as an organizer, I love creating those opportunities for others. And for me, seeing somebody really thrive in self-discovery is amazing for me.
Hi, future Mariska here, who realized that past Mariska completely forgot to record an outro. But anyway, I will say, past Mariska had an absolute blast at the festival, with all of the workshops, panels, and just chatting to so many wonderful people. Personally, my highlight of the weekend was playing a short LARP called Sign. It's a short LARP about the first school day of deaf children in Nicaragua. It's based on a true story, and these children eventually ended up developing their own entire sign language. Hence the name of the short LARP, Sign. I'd like to thank everyone who was involved in organizing the festival, and I'd like to give an extra special shout out to the people who didn't mind me showing a camera in their face and asking them all these questions. If you'd like to know more about the festival or are curious to the short LARP Sign, I'll leave links in the description. And with that, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time, or I'll see you next year at the Summer Festival.